at this container of water. Okay? Please look at it very, very closely. Now, I have another water container. Notice any difference? And I have one last water container. Okay? To our eyes, all three of those represent the same exact thing: safety, purity, and clarity. But I want to tell you guys that our eyes are telling a deadly trick on us. Now, just imagine if your child went home after playing outside. They are crying, they are begging for water from you. But you only have three of those water containers left. One will save them, the other two will destroy their organs and send them to the emergency room. Which one do you gamble your child's life on? Raise your hand up if you are willing to pick one of those containers and give it to the children. Okay? Sir Justin, why are you confident in giving one of these to your children?
All three. And I take them to the doctor.
Okay, but there is no true definite solution or definite answer because I don't know either which one to give to any other people. Because water, because poison is not seen, it is most likely not be able to be seen, and it has no smell. One of them contains normal drinking water. The other contains water traced with household bleach. And the last one contains water with heavy metals, those invisible chemicals found from factories that are thrown into our waterways. This is the harsh reality that we live in. And let's actually take a look at what Indonesian rivers usually look like. This is what most Indonesian rivers look like. Millions of Indonesians every single day gamble their lives on these waters. They look at these brown, muddy water, and because they have no other option, they use it. They use it to cook food, to water the crops that feed them, and even to take a shower. But the problem is they don't know what toxins or invisible chemicals are inside that. Because the mud isn't the real danger. You can see the mud, you can filter out the dirt. But what you can't do is to see those invisible poisonous chemicals. And every single day, families consume these chemicals. And what about our current safety net to save these communities? The standard laboratory tests take 3 whole days to give an answer. Now let's think about how a river works. Would a river stop for a laboratory test? No. The river keeps flowing, keeps moving. And by the time that technician comes back with the lab paper saying danger, it is already too late. Fish are already dead. Children have already developed severe illnesses. The current system doesn't solve the tragedy, it just counts victims after they suffer. So we refuse to accept that a 3 day delay was the best that humanity could do. So we made a team, me, Lux, and Neo, to build a real time defense system called the Biosentinel. And to do this, we used a simple, unusual secret weapon, mud bugs. Now, scientists call this with a fancy, expensive term, electrogenic bacteria. And all this is basically bacteria naturally living in the rivers that generate electricity when they eat. And we realized that if we could listen to that electricity, we could exactly know how healthy the river was. So it sounded good on plan. Nice. It sounded good on plan. But of course, it doesn't mean that it will have a smooth journey along the way. To get our corporate team of mud bugs, we needed to take mud from local rice fields and put it in a water container. My house literally smelled like a literal swamp for weeks, thanks to my teammates not volunteering for their house. So, yeah, so if you ever want to test the boundaries of a mother's love, you should definitely try putting a river sludge in your house. And then we also spent days sitting on the floor, breathing in toxic solder fumes, and then trying to fix problems such as salt agar solution cracking, which is the bridge to make the electricity flow to the other side. It kept cracking, or it just didn't fit into the model. And the first time that we booted the electrical system up, the soldering didn't work, and we failed. No, no, we didn't even fail. We failed miserably. And so, next slide. And so, of course, all engineering processes don't just go successful one time. It's about failing multiple times until you know how to win. So, to fix the cracking PVC pipe, what we did was change the salt agar solution ratio. We tried to change the ratio to ensure that it wouldn't crack and it would finally work. Other than that, when we finally fixed the crack, we put it in a water tub for the first real test. And guess what? It flipped upside down and it floated. So I guess it didn't really work. So we deployed a highly advanced multi-million dollar space engineering thing called suction cups. And we slapped them onto the bottom and we put it deeply into the container and it worked. Yay, it worked. And we connected the electrical system to an app called Blink to ensure that we could monitor the electrical signal every single time without needing to physically check it. So, using this app, we program multiple simple rules. So, please listen to these rules very, very carefully. Rule number one: if the deviation or the change in electricity is 0 to 10%, it means that the water is safe and the bacteria are living happily in the river. That is why we like to call it life is good. Yeah, life is good in the river. And then the second rule is when the deviation is 10 to 20%. It's starting to get a little annoying, but I would say life is still good. And last one is rule number three, the most serious rule of them all. If the deviation or the change is more than 20%, it means that the river is inhabitable. Don't use the river. So we say life is bad. Yeah, life is bad. And those are the three main rules. And when we finally put the chemical substance, the chemical toxin inside that module, it worked. So let's give a round of applause for biosentiment. And then when we brought this idea to a competition, which is called Young Changemaker Summit 2026, um, Many people might think that maybe junior high schoolers cannot create a real climate difference, cannot create a real change in the world, especially with thick, smelly mud, with simple wires and a PVC tube. But I would like to show something. We won. So, so this is not just a gold medal, a gold win for us. It is proof that our technology works and that this is a real solution for for the future. So the next time a silent threat comes into our house, comes into our rivers, we won't have to wait 3 days for an answer. Thank you.